I think we've dwelled on this question for a long time. It's been writing. And I'm sure if you put in your best to writing, you will learn it. It's not something tedious. Writing is not the most difficult in IELTS. You just need to understand what you need to do and do it. Okay? So we're going to practice it together. I need your maximum cooperation, please. So we're going to not just save our time, but at least we're going to achieve a lot today. Okay, if you cooperate. So first and foremost, we're going to share a template. Now, why I have not really shared a template is because some people will now, they'll misuse it kind of. They'll misuse it, and that's really my fear. You know, in IELTS writing, you're not expected to present a crammed work. Okay, so the essence of the template I'm sharing is for you to know how to actually do these things that we've been practicing. So the writing, we've done almost the theoretical aspect, almost everything we need to do. We've done it, the theoretical aspect. So it's the practical aspect that we are going to do now. So I'm going to drop I already dropped the template on our WhatsApp group. So now I'm going to drop a question. I hope you can see what I'm dropping on the WhatsApp group. So the question says, some people feel that cities should allow for spaces for graffiti, while others feel it should be banned. Discuss both sides and give your own opinion. Now, one thing you need to know, or one thing you should do before you start writing, is to understand what the question is. If you don't understand it, I'm sorry, you're going to write off topic. So they say some people feel that cities, so when you talk about cities, they're referring to a developed place. So alternative names you're going to use for cities, you could say developed country, developed places. Who please, once you join me, Amarachi Okoye, Ukon Desire, please, once you join, please mute yourself. Yeah. Okay? No, wait. Here. This way, the right view. The right. Okay, so I had to mute everyone. So one thing you need to know, okay, what is the meaning of this whole thing that I was asked? The first thing, okay, some people feel that cities, when they say cities, they're talking about developed communities, they're talking about urban areas, they're talking about I think that's basically the three synonyms you could use. You could call it cities, you could call it developed communities, developed areas, urban centers. These are alternative names you could call it. Then should allow for spaces. Spaces, of course, they should give room, they should give opportunity, they should give a particular location or something. They should map out an area. These are alternative ways you could say spaces. For graffiti, now what is graffiti? You know, in IELTS, you're not expected to go with your dictionary. So this is the time you need to know some of the words you don't know. So this particular thing, gravity, I think is painting on the streets. Usually you see some paintings on the public places. Okay, it's more like a form of art. So we're going to Google it, and then we're going to see a clearer okay, I think to make it easier for everyone, I'm going to share my screen so you see what I'm doing. My screen, yes. So I'm going to Google this graffiti. Yes, here you go. And it says it's an art that is written, painted, or drawn on a wall or other surface, usually without permission and within public views. So yes, some people that are into arts, most times they see a public places, they see some walls. Most times in the bus stops, you see a lot of people doing a lot of paintings there. So without permission, once it's without permission and it's going to be within public view, it is called graffiti. So now, another thing, that you don't have to mention this over and over. You think of other formal synonyms or graffiti in English. Okay, so let's see. So we are getting different synonyms. Now, I prefer using this thesaurus because it usually gives me what I want. So once you type formal, it's usually going to take you here. But once you just type it on Google, then it's going to give you even things that are nearest in meaning. It's going to just give you almost everything. So we have things like defacement, doodles, scribbling, cave painting. So these are all alternative names. Okay. I think you can actually check for each name, each particular sorry, I don't know how I got here. I think I've done something. I think I've jumped something. I don't know. It's not going back. It's not going back. Doodless. Oops. Okay. So I have to do, okay, here we are. So let's hear the sound of this. Graffiti. Okay, graffiti. All right, so we have synonyms for this graffiti. Graffiti. Good. So this is where, as you're learning these things, please, if possible, listen to the right pronunciation, so it's going to help you in case if it comes into your mouth when you're talking, when you're doing your speaking, you produce the correct spelling. But if you assume something in your head and you're going by that, pronunciation is something we are taking seriously in Ielts. So now these are different synonyms you could use instead of this. Now we've understood what graffiti is and the synonyms that you can use. So now, while others feel it should be banned. So by reading to understand not just the meaning, but meaning of every word is going to make you to understand what you're going to write. Now, what is the main question? We've read the statement. We understood the statement. So what's the question now? The question says, discuss both sides and give your own opinion. So there are three things that you're going to do here. Three things that you're going to do in this particular topic. The first thing is discuss those supporting that some spaces should be allowed or kind of dedicated to graffiti. Then that's number one. Another thing you're going to write is those supporting that this act now is an act. I know the act is an act. Okay, so understand this act, that means doing this. So art is the fact, the drawing. Okay, this act should be banned. So we didn't look for synonym for ban because we don't have to repeat band over and over and over. So we need to also look for what are the formal synonyms. So why we're looking for formal, because essay is a formal writing. So we are looking for the formal synonyms. We wouldn't want to use things that are not formal, okay? Because essay is pure formal. So this is the second thing you're writing. Then the third thing you're writing is your opinion. So these three things are must. They must be in your essay. That's the question wants you to do. So you write it out. So I'm writing it out so that you understand better. So these are the three things that you are meant to put in your essay. Now, we know our structure. Structure, of course, is introduction, body paragraph 1, body paragraph 2, body paragraph 3. Now we're having body paragraph 3 because we are discussing three things, then conclusion. So if it's not three things that you're going to discuss, then you don't need 3 body paragraphs. But because we are going to discuss 3 things, then we have to put the third body. So each of these things will be discussed in a body paragraph. The introduction and conclusion, of course, introducing what we are going to say and concluding what you've said. Now, in the introduction, please, I want you to give this your maximum concentration, please. I will appreciate that. So we're going to try to be as fast as possible so you can go back to what you were already originally doing or what you want to do. But please, for now, please give us your maximum concentration, okay? Thank you very much. So now, in the introduction, there are 3 things we are going to do in introduction. We are going to paraphrase. The first sentence, we are going to make 3 sentences in this introduction. The first sentence is where we paraphrase. So paraphrase simply means the same thing they've said in the statement. We're going to write it in our own word. We're going to use different words to write it. Then another thing we have to do in the introduction is give our opinion. And then the third thing we're going to do here is outline statement. So now I'm going to explain these things one after the other. So paraphrase simply is the same thing they've said. You're going to say it to have the same meaning, but you're going to use different words. You're going to change the sentence, okay? You're going to change the words you use for the sentence. So you're not going to change the sentence, but you're going to change the word. You're going to say the same thing in a different way. Then opinion on its own, otherwise is called, it's also called thesis statement, is where you state your opinion. And why you are stating your opinion? Because this question asked for your opinion. Then the outline statement is where you're going to introduce the reader to what you're going to write. Each of these is very important. If you want to get a good score in your task and your coherence and cohesion, especially in coherence, then you need to use the right structure. And this, according to the requirements for a good essay, this met the requirements for a good essay. So your introduction should be able to paraphrase what you're about to write, and of course what your opinion was, if it was sought, or maybe your answers to some questions if they were asked, and of course introduce the reader to what your essay is all about. So now we've done this, we're going to now practice this. So let's look for alternative words you could use for band. So we have for, I'm going to copy this for, I'm going to copy link text, right? Copy link text, right? Copy link text, right? Copy link text, right? Okay, so I'm getting, I just want to have the synonyms here. I just want to get the synonyms here. So I would advise you to do the same. before you start writing, because once you start writing, you might be using the same word over and over. But by the time you're getting synonyms, now we know that these are synonyms for graffiti. Sorry, I think the TI sounds like D. Okay, so graffiti. Okay, so let me, for those that just let's listen for the pronunciation. Gravidi. So the TI sounds like D. Gravidi. Okay, good. So now we are going to change these to band. So let's look for alternative words for band. Okay, so we could just say band, because band is of course the opposite of ban. So okay, we have things like boycott, prohibition, refusal, restriction, censorship, embargo, injunction. So these of course are synonyms, words you could use instead of ban. So I'm going to still take, and sometimes there are some words that they are opposite in meaning, but it depends on the situation where you're using it. There are situations where you use that particular word and it's going to become wrong. Okay, so any of those words that we don't really understand how to use them, we are going to go to our Google to see how they can be used. So these are for ban. So why we are writing out these synonyms is because we are going to be writing a lot, okay, a lot of sentences we'll be making, we will need to impute this same word band. And because we need to earn marks in our vocabulary, then we need to actually be using the synonyms instead of writing the same thing over and over. So in your essay, to have a good mark, make sure you don't repeat the same word more than 2 or 3 times. At most, there are some words that their synonyms are rare. So at most, let's say that you repeated that same word 2 or 3 times. Please do not exceed. Once you're repeating the same word 4 times, you're just making a very huge mistake. So it can be pardoned for the first 3 times you've used it. Maybe not on a roll, definitely not a roll, or not on a roll. Maybe you use it in paragraph 1, in paragraph 2, in paragraph 3. But in that same paragraph 1, you need to write that same word more than 3 times. So you have to introduce other synonyms. Try to change it. That's in rare cases where the word doesn't have enough synonyms. Okay, in that case, it can be pardoned. Now we are ready to start writing. So let's read. The first thing we are going to do in our introduction is to paraphrase. So what are we paraphrasing? Is this statement that says, some people feel that cities should allow for spaces for graffiti, while others feel it should be banned. So how do we say it? Okay, so I have a template here. Shall we use the template? Yes, let's use the template. Okay, so I think this is all about showing you how to use the template. So let's make use of the template. So I'm just going to copy for where the instruction is. Where the introduction is. Okay, so I'm just going to copy the introduction. Remove this once we get there. Also, I will do the same. So now let me remove this. Of course, we know we are writing discussion essay. So it says, in the world today, there are widespread concern about. What is this concern about? Is about art. This is all. The graffiti, of course, is art, about art. So now you can remove D because D doesn't fit in, doesn't make it a correct sentence. So about art. So this is what we call an overall sentence. Overall, now art is small letter A. right? It's art is not a name of person anymore. In this context, we are not referring to an object that is art. We are referring to art as a broad stuff. I don't know. Yeah. Okay. So in the world today, there are widespread concerns about art. Now, that is a more like you introducing the whole thing. This same thing they said is all art. Okay. What people say, don't draw this thing here. This one say they are concerned about art. So this is an introduction. Then a school of thought is what this one say, some people feel that cities should allow for spaces. Okay. So let's, this, like I told you, this doesn't fit in everything. It's more like, so this is not a school of thought, this is individual. Okay. So statistically say, while few persons, I don't want to say the same thing that they said, while few persons allude means suggest. Okay. So allude means suggest, so it's correct. While few, sorry, my feelings, because there is, okay, whilst few persons allude that, so what did they allude? That cities should allow for spaces for gravity. So how do we put this? Why few people allude that what's another word we got for gravity? While few people allude that cave paintings should be allowed, should be should have a place in the outdoor, have a paint in the outdoor environment. Not repeating the same again, comma. Others argue that, that it should rather be, what's other words that we put, should rather be placed on this embargo. This embargo, let me check the meaning. No, like I told you, it might mean the same thing, but in sentences it will mean something different. An official ban on trade of other commercial activities in a particular country. Good. So yes, we can use embargo. So others argue that it should be placed on an embargo. So these are, now this is a mistake. These are two interesting viewpoints. Now, in my opinion, because your opinion was sought, in my opinion, what's your opinion? What's your opinion? Artistic painting contributes to the beauty of the city. Okay, now I don't want to say of the urban center, and shouldn't be, oh sorry, you can't use contraction, and should not be it should not be boycotted. Now, boycotted is another synonym for banned. Okay, so now your thesis statement say this essay will discuss both views, and now they ask for opinion. So instead of saying and the final conclusion will be drawn, say this essay will discuss both views and my opinion will be discussed. Okay, and my opinion is simple. First stop. So let's read. Said in the world today, there are concerns art. While few persons allude that cave painting should have a place in the outdoor environment, others argue that it should be placed on an embargo. Sorry. Now this is good. Why you have to get what written, but there will be some silent mistakes. Okay, so let's see. While few persons allude that cave painting should have a place in the outdoor environment, comma, others argue that it should be placed on an embargo. These are two interesting viewpoints. In my opinion, artistic paintings contribute to the beauty of the urban center and should not be boycotted. Sorry. This essay will discuss both viewpoints and my opinion. Full stop. So this is the introduction. Let me delete the first one. So this is the introduction. Oh my goodness. Okay. Then the body paragraph 1. The body paragraph 1 is the next thing we are going to do. So in this body paragraph 1, what is expected? You have to write the first viewpoint. Okay, first viewpoint, which is our number 1 here, that say discuss those supporting that some places should be dedicated to gravity. So first viewpoint here. Then how do we write our body paragraph 1? Use the statement or the point. State the point. Then what's the next thing? Your example or explain. Sorry, explain. Give example, and then link it back. So the point is simply that first thing we are discussing, the first point, which is discuss those supporting that some spaces should be dedicated to gravity. Then explain, of course, we are going to explain why those people think that way. And then example, we're going to think of an example to give. And then link, we're going to link it back to the point. Sometimes you give example, it will now be off point, make your essay to become off point. But when you link it back to the point, it's going to maintain its meaning. Okay, so this is the 4 sentences we are going to make. Sometimes it's going to get to 5. Your body paragraph 1 should be around 4 to 5 sentences. And so body paragraph 1 should be at least 3 to 4 sentences. How many do we have here? 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have an introduction, we have 4 sentences. So it shouldn't be more than 4 sentences, please. Okay. If I have my way, if I would remove these are 2 interesting viewpoints. It shouldn't exceed 4. Your introduction shouldn't exceed 4 sentences. It's going to make sure that it's going to help you to get different range of sentences. Okay, and also minimize short sentences. So now body paragraph 1. What's the point? The first point, of course, how do we start? Now, because you're going to discuss opposite things, we're going to use the cohesive device. Now, cohesive device is things like while, on the other hand, in addition, therefore, in conclusion, those words, those things that introduce an idea that you have. So because we are going to discuss a contradicting viewpoint, you can use on the one hand, on the other hand. Okay, so it's introducing different viewpoints. So let's copy just our body paragraph 1. Let's copy just our body paragraph 1. Here we are. So on the one hand, supporters of this view claim that, so why would people say that they should dedicate a space for gravity? Okay, it has a way of relieving anxiety or tension. Do you think so? Can arts help to reduce because I've chosen, in my opinion, I say it adds beauty to the city. So I wouldn't say the same thing here. Okay, so I have my opinion, have to be my opinion. So I'm going to think of what should get is to grab. So let me check the image. If you give me this. No, it's not fair. People are not typing something. Give me idea. I don't have idea. Why do you think that they should dedicate a place in your city for arts? Why do you think so? I need that. So don't tell me beautifies the city, because I already wrote. I'm going to use that for my this thing. Okay. So someone is raising. Mute yourself. You can unmute yourself, Judith. I've asked you to unmute. Do that again.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Hello.
Yes,
okay,
I can hear you.
I think it's going to serve as I think it's going to serve as a tourist center.
Oh yes,
People can actually come there for tourism.
Yes, that's a very good point. Okay, so we're going to go with that. On the one hand, supporters of this view claim that it is going to serve as a tourist center or tourist attractions. Okay, so on the one hand, supporters of now somebody actually will be arguing in his mind now. Is it not on one hand? Why is she writing on the one hand? So the most accepted form is on the one hand. On the other hand, okay, is the most accepted for formal writing. On one hand is also accepted, though, but the most accepted worldwide for formal writing is on the one hand. Okay, you can search your dictionaries, make your inquiries, and then accept it. So now let's explain why. The second thing after stating our point is to explain. Okay, so this is because, so our reason, sentence reason 1. Okay, so what can be the reason? This is because people are attracted to what's another thing we could use for gravity? to defacement, and having, sorry, because I am going to use and, no need putting a comma, and having in the in the city. Now I'm not really used city, right? So I'm going to use city. So why is it defacement? Okay, does it mean it doesn't have S? Oh, so defacement doesn't have S. Is that why it's marked under it's wrong? You know, you see, once I get something like this, I like to argue it out to my dictionary. Defacement. Let's be sure. Mean. Let's be sure. Defacement. An action or process of spoiling the surface or appearance of something. Spoiling. Spoiling cheese. See that? Spoiling. I'm sorry I didn't check all these things and I'm just using it. You know, in a way, people that are against this view, we see this gravity as spoiling, as defacement. You know that. So if you are talking for people that are against this, then we can use this gravity, we can call it defacement because that's what they see it as. So you can actually say people against the view think is a face to their city. So it's see, but in this particular context, people that are in support of it we can't use defacement. They don't see it as spoiling. No, what we checked. So let's see doodles. So you don't always just everything. Yes, they are synonyms, but they are meaning, and you have to find out. So my battery is 6%, so I hope it doesn't fail me. So you just have to find a way to. So I know scribbling is just writing roughly on the, how do we pronounce it? Let me see. It's not pronouncing. The stuff is not working. Okay, so a rough drawing make absent-mindedly. Okay, on a wall. Doodle. Okay. Doodle. Good. Doodle. All right. So scribble absent-mindedly. So we know it's still the same thing as gravity. Gravity is still something that is done. Gravity. So gravity, writing or drawing scribbled, scratched, or sprayed illicitly on a wall or other surface in a public place. So this one is more explicit. Okay, the doodle is just telling us that it's scribbled, but it didn't really. Of course, you know that we have to make a sentence that shows that it is a doodle on a wall in a public place. All right. So let's see. Okay, let's see. This is because people are attracted to doodle on the wall and in the public place. And having one in the city, okay, this is when you have 2 points you want to give. Sometimes your first point is not long enough, you want to add more points, you can say as well as. But in this point, I think we already have, our hands are already full. So and having one in the city will I don't want to use that. I've used Thinking of another thing I could use instead of attract, withdraw the attention of people from different geographical location. For example, there was a report that numerous tourists arrived at Abidjan in 2004 to behold the magnificent scribbling on the giant wall. Now, is there any other thing aside wall? Is there a synonym I could use instead of wall? Can I say decking? Let's leave it. I just used wall twice. So now this is my example. Now I don't really have strength to write more. So I'm going to I'm not giving a second reading. So I'm just going to delete all ones. And this is my linking sentence. Hence, it seems clear that having a gravity. Now I want to have this word because it sounds so beautiful. So I want to have it in my essay. Hence, it seems clear that having a gravity in the urban centers, in a developed, I want to change it. Instead of saying urban cities, I've said that over and over. So let me say in a developed area, helps to helps to lure people for tour. Hence, it seems clear that having a gravity in a developed area helps to lure people for tour. So this sentence is still the same thing I made here when I said supporters of this view claim that it's going to serve as a tourist attraction. So I still changed it here. That's the way I linked it back to my sentence. So let's read and see if you have any corrections. So it says, on the one hand, supporters of this view claim that it is going to serve as a tourist attraction. Full stop. That's number one sentence. Second sentence, this is because, now second sentence is me explaining further what I said. The point I made, let me explain it more. So he said this is because it's people, sorry, I think that's one of the mistakes we'll correct. If people are attracted to doodle on the wall and in a public place and having, another mistake, comma, there should be a comma because I've used and before. Public, draw the attention of people from different geographical locations. For example, there was a report that numerous tourists arrived at Abidjan in 2004. I don't know where Abidjan is. I've not got. Shebi is in South Africa. So I just thought of something that came to my head. It's not something they will go and check out. You understand? Just make a good. I actually like examples that are on point. Like you give some evidence to show that you are aware of it. That is not a copyright. Okay, so this one at least. If somebody reads it, maybe you actually know something that happened in 2004 in Abidjan. So arrived at Abidjan in 2004 to behold the magnificent scribbling on the giant wall. Okay, hence it seems clear that having a gravity in a developed area helps to lure people for tour. For tourists, for tourism, sorry. For is correct, right? back to Joe. What are we going to go? Oh God. Not again, not again, not again. So what did I copy now? I went and copied everything. So let's cut, select all, and paste. So let's make our corrections. On the one hand, supporters of this view claim that it's going to serve as a tourist attraction. This is because, comma, if people, this is if. So if is a powerful word. You know, it's kind of tells about what will happen in future. So it's a powerful word, the ends mark, you know. If people are attracted to doodle on the wall and in a public place, comma, there shouldn't be another and. That's grammatical blunder. Having one in the city will draw the attention of people from different geographical location. For example, there was a report that numerous tourists arrived at Abidjan in 2004 to behold the magnificent scribbling on the giant wall. Hence, it seems clear that having a gravity in a developed area helps to lure people for tour. Good. So this juncture, I'm going to plug my phone while we continue. Okay? So I'm going to be leaving this place. Might be noisy a little. Now, install the cable you have purchased as ouch. Next, connect the RF cable to your antenna and ensure the cable runs behind the steel ring. Okay, so don't worry, I'm not going to hold it so that it doesn't blow. Just keep it somewhere because. So we are done with our body paragraph 1, and we're going to be paragraph 2. So remember, in the body paragraph 2, we're going to be talking about the other people's opinion. I shouldn't have. So on the other hand, opponents of this view. Now, opponents of this view is those against the view. Argue that this act, this act is a defacement or causes is a defacement or causes a defacement. Defacement is, what did we have as a defacement? Defacement, I want to deface. Defacement says defacement, okay? So you saw how it was used. So this act is a defacement to the now I don't want to say public places, I don't want to say outdoor, so I can say open places, to the open places. Okay, so it's a more significant. I don't want to go, this doesn't fit in my sentence, full stop. So does this explain this? Okay. How do I explain that it's a defacement? Okay. Let me just say this is because causes the surrounding, causes the open, causes the general, causes the public places to look untidy and untidy and damaged as and should be anticipation to the open places. Hence, I didn't complete it because actually what they not just that is a defacement, they want it to be banned. Remember, so I just remembered that in the statement they said other people feel it should be banned. Okay, so I need to add that to my point. Okay, it acts as a defacement to the open places. So I'm and should be. So what is another word I can use instead of ban? So, it's very important. The way they said it, make sure you put it that way. It's at the end of the day to mean that same thing. And it should be restricted, and it should be restricted. This is because it's causing the public place to look untidy and damaged. Okay. So that is my explanation. Causes it to stop. To illustrate, so that's another way you can give your example to illustrate. To illustrate, comma, to illustrate, not illustrated, to illustrate, the city of Mexico lost its unique features as artists scribble, as artists made an unsolicited scribbles on its public eyes, thereby causing it to causing so much damage to the to the area. So let me link it back. So even with 1 point, because this is this sort for your opinion. So 1 point each is enough because you're still going to write the third paragraph. So if you're giving too many points, like two points, because this template is made in a way that you give two points in each. If you're giving two points like the way it is, then you have more, you write too much, and it will be more than to even get to 400 words. Don't take time. But 1 point, because the opinion was sought, is enough. It's more than enough, safe. So therefore, it can be demonstrated that therefore it can be seen, demonstrated, it can be seen that that the best way, therefore, sorry, this doesn't work for me. Therefore, it seems so now it's not where your opinion is. So when you are talking, you should always attribute it to people. So therefore, it seems to them that the best way is to censor this censor sounds Greek to me, or sounding Greek to me. I don't even have strength to check dictionary again. Therefore, it seems to them that the best way is to ban this, graffiti. Let's read. On the other hand, opponents of this view argue that this act is a defacement to the open places and should be restricted. This is because it causes the public places to look untidy and damaged. To illustrate, the city of Mexico lost its, now I use contraction, its, why am I copying on X? So the city of Mexico lost, sorry, opponents of this view argue that this act is a defacement to the open places and should be restricted. This is because it causes the public places to look untidy and damaged. To illustrate, the city of Mexico lost their unique features as artists made an unsolicited scribbles on the public eyes, public views, public places, thereby causing so much damage to the area. Therefore, it seems to them that the best way is to ban graffiti. So this is the second paragraph. So the last thing now is to conclude. The last thing is conclusion. Okay, sorry, our opinion first before conclusion. I think I have up to 10% now. Let's go back. So the next one, because our opinion was sought, we're going to give our opinion. So this one you have to start with "in my opinion" because your opinion was asked. You have to make it known that this is your opinion. In my opinion. So what is our opinion? Now we are going to look for what we said is our opinion in our introduction. Our opinion is supposed to be in our introduction. So in our opinion, we say artistic paintings. So paintings, there should be S so after the painting. No. Artistic paintings contribute to beauty of the urban center and should not be boycotted. So that is our opinion. Okay. How do we put it? What's another thing we could say instead of gravity? Is there any other unique word aside gravity? Cave painting, defacement, we've used all those. Let's say cave painting. So in my opinion, cave paintings contributes to the beauty, to the background of contribute to the contribute to making the city layout to look astonished. Let me not say the one I cannot spell. How do they spell astonished? And is it the same thing as beauty? Or rather, let me see synonyms for beauty, because I don't want to say the same beauty again. I want to say beauty over. Okay. Since they're even giving me, I don't like it. Artistry. Oh, look at this word is fine. Oh, artistry. Wow. I need to use it. Okay, so we have refinement, refined. Okay, it's a nice word we can use, refine. So you see, these things are all synonyms to beauty, but you see, delicacy, you can't use delicacy for another thing. Now that's why it's good, even if you got the synonyms, change the individual meanings. Delicacy now is used when you are talking about food. Okay, so I think the words that we can go with is artistry, refinement. So makes the city to look refined, great skill in creative. Okay, I think I'm going to use artistry and refinement. So make the city layout to look refined. So this is my statement. Why? I should explain. Then explain, I'll say to expatiate, comma, expatiate. I did not spell it well. Expatiate. Oh, sorry, it's not expatiate, so it's expatiate. Please, let's be sure. Let's go to Google. Let's be sure. Okay, it's me. I used to call it expatiate. Now it's expatiate. We all learn every day. So let's see. Expatiate, of course. Yes, it's expatiate. Please. Expatiate. Okay, expatiate. All right. So to expatiate, how do we expatiate this now? Do we explain further? These paintings have okay, rather I've used paintings a lot, so let me use this other word I took from there. This artistry work looks, oh god, okay, this artistry, to especially this artistry work makes look colorful and to the public, my public eyes. So the graph, use this graffiti a lot, please. The painting on the wall of Jericho a good example. So this is another way you can give your example. Don't do it over to as for example, to illustrate. Don't always be the same. You can actually do it this way. Painting on the wall, sorry, not off. The painting on the wall of Jericho is a good example, as it made that surrounding, or it gave surrounding a glowing. Do we use it for, no, I think glowing is for skin. Gave that surrounding a I've used magnificent before. I'm looking for word. You know what I'm looking. Glamour. What is glamour? Let's see. Fascination, charm, attraction, enchantment. What is glamour? Beauty, I think, okay, is a synonym to beauty, a prestige, beauty, appealed, gave that surrounding, because a good example, as it is appealing to sight. First stop. Oh my goodness. So how do I link it back? So I think I don't really need to, because even my last statement, appealing to sight, still showed the same thing I've been saying. Okay. So let's read. In my opinion, cave paintings contributes to making the city layout look refined. To expatiate, this artistic work makes the city look colorful and pleasant to the public eye. The painting on the wall of Jericho is a good example, as it is appealing to sight. So now let's do conclusion. Our conclusion. So this conclusion now is still the same thing you wrote in your introduction. You have to do paraphrase, and then your outline statement is still the same thing. Okay, so no, you don't really need to paraphrase, but at least your outline statement should be here. The thing you discussed in your listing, but now in past tense. So to conclude this, discussed. What's the first thing here? Discuss graphic first thing about a tourist center, a tourist a tourist attraction, and okay, on the okay, and however, don't really, I can just simply make a distinct discuss both views and discuss this essay discuss both views about graffiti. It seems reasonable to allude to opine that it should be encouraged as it bring to a limelight in conclusion, the essay discussed both views about graffiti. It seems reasonable to opine that it should be encouraged as it helped to bring city to a limelight. Oh, easy, Marara. All right, it's easy anyway. So now, I don't know, doing our count, I'll just count and body one, then I will kind of multiply it to see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have 6 in the first line. How many lines? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we'll have 12. That's 6 times 12. We give us a rough estimate about our body one. Let's see that. 6 times 12. So you know you're supposed to write up to 250 words. So 6 times 12 is 72. So only our introduction is 72. So let's see, 250 minus 72 equals to 178. So if introduction is only 72, let's divide this by 3. Yeah, what did I do? What did I do? 178. So 178 divided by 3 is 59. So there is no way that this one will not, this one is even more than introduction. So it will even be more than 59. So, and we have 4 left. I've been introduction, but this thing, my opinion, but the one about it is even 4. So there is no way it will not be up to, it will even be more than 250 words. Okay. So this is it about, I have a lot of charts. So this is it about body. Oh, where are we? Don't be confused. It's just knowing the structure. Exactly. Is that gravity? We just be praying that the things we don't know the meaning should not face us. That is why it's good to practice. See, most of these things, there's somebody that got band 9 and in listening, and why he got band 9, he's not a native English speaker, but because he's been listening to the audio over and over, the more you do all these things, the more you get used to some of these words. More you get used to it. Now, on the course of doing this thing, now we've seen a lot of words, and the more you do it, you check those words out. As you're checking it out, they don't have any hiding place. Anyone they bring, you will know the meaning. So that's why it's good to practice, and also pray, so that the word you don't know the meaning will not meet you. Okay. All right. So, is there anybody that have any question? No question, Abby. Well understood. So we are going to practice a discussion essay. I'm going to send out some topic. I'm going to write powerful essays with words that are unique. But of course, it encourages cultural painting. Is it about cultural? It's not about culture. It encourages cultural painting. We are not writing about cultural painting. And natural art. Yes, I like that, natural art. Okay, so I hope we achieved something tonight, Sha. So let's practice discussion essay. Okay, let's follow what we've learned and practice discussion essay. All right, so no question. If you have any question, you see ask on the group. We've come to the end of today's class. So I'm going to drop assignment. Please, if I don't, to remind me. I have a lot on this, my tiny head. Remind me, please. All right, thank you. Good night, everyone.